Hello again. You join me at the end of week 4 on the sofa again. I've reverted to being in the back room again. Hopefully that might keep the four-legged friends out. But that might be what makes the videos good, I don't know. So we shall see about that. Yeah, end of week 4, starting into wave 2. Sort of cut some of the sessions slightly shorter this week. There's been elements that I've had to drop out. Yeah, basically the trend for the week has been scaling weights, or adapting weights for how I'm feeling on the day. Case in point, yesterday I was doing some bench press work, and I have been previously doing heavy sets for low reps or quite light relatively sets for lots of reps. With a 5-3-1, that was things like Widowmakers or as finishing exercises. I don't tend to do that quite so much with the compound movements, but it's still something that I would sort of tag on the back of a session. In this instance, this part of my programming anyway, I've been doing quite moderately heavy weights, I suppose I could say, for more reps, if you like. So yesterday's session called for 75% for 3 sets of 8 as part of a superset with some bent over rows to really ruin me before I started. And yeah, the first set of 8 was okay. The second set I knew I was struggling a little bit as I was having to take a breath after 3, and then got another 2 and I thought, well, that might be a touch difficult. The 7th rep was a real grinder, but I thought I've got to go for 8. I got no safety, I got no spotter, but I had the safeties up because I always like to train with the safeties just in case, because you never know. And in this case I did need them, did utilise them. Couldn't finish that 8th rep. I did the first set without sleeves, and the second set I did have elbow sleeves on as well, and I still struggled. So I thought, you know, this is an opportunity to still get plenty of work in. I'm going to have to lower the weight, so I went down from well, I basically took 5 kilos off the bar total. Not ideal, admittedly, but it still allowed me to get those 8 reps in. I wouldn't say comfortably, but a lot easier than me struggling with 80, I think it's 85 kilos it was the weight yesterday. So I've got that sort of in the back of my mind, that niggle that I'm not hitting my prescribed reps sometimes. Again, I'm putting it down a little bit to training first thing, training early, trying to blast through my sets, but I can't keep using that as an excuse really. So I actually plugged my numbers in for my bench press. Now I don't know if I've actually said it on record before, but my bench press is poor compared to my other lifts, and it is 113 kilos, which isn't much more than body weight for me. So, you know, if we're talking in powerlifting or strongman terms, that's not fantastic. I mean, it's pretty good for a runner, I think, but that would require me to be doing a lot more running to use that excuse, so I haven't really got that. But I put the 8 sets at 75% in today, and that gave me a 108 max, and that's working, you know, on 1 set, and the prescribed was 3 sets, so that's not a true sort of 8 rep max, if you like. So that may push it slightly higher. I have been training all mornings this week, Monday to Friday, which allows me my weekends free. So I'm probably going to get a session in the garage. Well, I say probably. I'm definitely going to have a session in the garage, as I've got a bar and a load of plates in there. It's mainly set up for deadlifts and things. I haven't got squat stands or a bench in there, so I can't do those. But I have got the facility to deadlift. I think the session I'm going to do though is going to be speed or technique based though, and in actual fact I'm thinking about doing some sumo pulls. Now sumo isn't something I've ever really attempted other than standing in a gym going, oh, is this the sort of form once? So it's a bit of a learning curve for me, but what that's going to mean is I'm getting some work in, A little bit of work, admittedly, but still work all the same. I'm also getting some time to work on something I wouldn't normally. I'm hitting the same muscle groups, admittedly, but in a slightly different way. And it's something that I can look into further down the line, but if I make a start now, at least that's a step in the right direction. Inspired by guys like Ben Pollock, who can pull big numbers conventional, but he's got this sort of hybrid sumo pull that he does, like, which I think is how he pulls in competition, and he's got incredible numbers doing that. So that's something I'm going to look into doing, not to be on the competitive stage myself, but I would like to mix it up between the two pulls, sumo and conventional. That raw strength against something that requires that more technique. I'm not a hater of sumo, if you like. If that's what works, then that's what works. I won't name names, as I have messaged the fella and he hasn't got back in touch yet to see if it's alright. But what I will say is I received a message yesterday from a guy who's just wanted to get in touch, really, and sincerely, as straight up and honest as I can be, it absolutely made my day, because he's taken the time out to send me a private message on YouTube. It's not a showy thing or anything. He just wanted to get in contact and say the sort of things that he was doing, where he's at, and to say that he was quite inspired by some of the videos that I've put out, and he likes the balance I've struck between my cardio and sort of weight element of the way I train. And he also really liked my beard as well, so that's put him in my good books. But yeah, it really meant the world to me, that did, to find that someone somewhere's sort of really into what I'm doing, really enjoyed seeing someone's approach, my approach to training. And it was a real, it came through as an email, and I was sort of scrolling through just the normal sort of junk that I get, and I saw that one. I was like, oh, that's unusual. Went on it, and it was really got me right in the feels, so thank you to you for that. You are, obviously, because you sent a message, but thank you so much for that. I really mean that. And on that bombshell that somebody has enjoyed something that I've produced, I'm going to get on with my training. I'm going to go for these sumo pulls. I'm going to put some of that up as well. Hopefully you can see where I'm going wrong. If you are someone who pulls sumo, I'd love you to critique my form, what I'm doing, where I'm going wrong, more than likely. Because obviously anything new, you're never going to be the best. I don't think it's something that you can naturally be very good at. So yeah, advice always welcome. In the meantime, big strong, enjoy yourselves and have a great weekend.